Tree Business, helping tree services succeed.
What if your climber is injured in the tree? Can you get him down? What if he passes out? What if he has an injury that requires medical attention? What if he quits breathing or his heart stops beating? You can't do CPR in the tree. Are you going to be able to perform the rescue? 911 is part of the plan, but emergency crews can only do so much. Your crew is on its own. We wanted to put our crews to the test. This crew worked all day, and when they got back, we had some extra work to do at the shop. They weren't happy about it, but they had no idea what was about to happen.
You can try and unset your ropes, get yourself into position, and whenever you go to move, ow, 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 hornets, ow, ow, stop, ow, hornet. There's multiples.
Hey,
ow,
you guys want me
ow.
now? Troy's getting stung out by hornets.
Ow.
Do you guys know where his EpiPen
Ow.
is? No, it might be in his,
I can't.
in his personal.
Ow. Ow.
I want to need you guys over here.
Ow.
I can't go over there because it's going to be the same thing if I go.
So you guys need to bump up a check. He's on 15.
Ow. 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 Ow.
One.
It's supposed to be in my MERS. Ow.
Where's your merch at?
Ow. It's over on the safety chart. Ow.
Troy, can you come down? I'm not seeing it down here.
I'm trying to, but my hands are swelling. I can't grab my ascenders and undo my carabiners.
I'm ripping this bag apart. I do not see it. Are you all right up there?
Yep, I can't get my hands to work together to get these safeties undone. My fingers are swelling. Ow! Ow!
Hold on, I'm coming down. I'm going to get out of this bucket. I'm going to come over there and see if I can't find it.
Ow!
Hey, I'm all the way on foot. Where is it?
Troy, do we need to call 911?
Yeah, call 911.
Troy, I'm at your truck. Where's it at?
It should be in the center console. Call 911.
I'm on it.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
Yes,
address is 8727 Glover Lane.
It's supposed to be in the big pocket on there.
8727 Glover Lane. Can you repeat that for verification, please?
Yes, it's Chris Tree Care. The location is 8727 Glover Lane.
All right, and
I
what's your
can't grip
name,
any of my carabiners till
Ron Barnes.
All right, Mr. Ron, what's a good callback number in case you and I get disconnected?
251-447.
Somebody check his bag.
Tell me exactly what happened.
We have one of our employees. He's been stung by hornets, and he's been up there in a tree for a minute now. And I need some assistance because I think he's swelling because he's allergic.
Where is he up in?
We're here on the work site, but he's trying to get down from the tree, and right now I think they stung him up pretty good, and he can't get down just yet.
We're going to need somebody to get in this tree and get him down.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to ask you some questions. I need you to stay on the line with me, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you at that location now?
Yes, ma'am.
What type of structure is he involved? That he's in a tree?
Yes, ma'am. He's in a tree, like a pecan tree.
Throw ball
Okay,
up
what's
here.
the approximate distance from the ground?
He's up there at least maybe 15, 20 feet up, maybe 30.
Okay, sir, hang
Matt,
on.
there's a throw
Yes,
line
ma'am.
in the tree. I think it's going to be
Anyone else
faster to
gonna
just
be
get in the
endangered?
tree.
No, just him only.
Okay, and I just have to confirm, is anyone injured?
No, just the guy that I'm talking about right now. He just stung up pretty good by these hornets.
Okay, all right, and how many?
There it goes.
Just him?
Just him, just one person. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Fire department is stay on the line. I'll tell you exactly what to do.
Chris is here with him. I'm going to
Yes,
bring
ma'am.
the bucket just in case.
Now approach. We'll attempt to reach
How are we getting the bucket
Tell
at?
him not to move, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll find a way to get it back there somehow.
If it's
Hey,
safe
get
to
the
do
squirt
so,
boat.
then
The squirt boat can fit back here.
the area. Meet the firefighters in a safe location. If I am going to let you go now, we've got help on the way, but if anything is worse than anyone, I want you to
You all
call
right,
us back
Troy?
immediately for further instructions, okay, Mr. Ron? Are you comfortable
Yep.
with connecting?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
You all
Okay,
right?
all right. We've got help on the way, too,
How you
okay?
doing, Troy?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
He's
Yes,
not
sir.
responding.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Troy.
He's not responding. We need to get him out of the tree.
Oscar's getting his climbing gear. They're on the way to the route right now. Josh is grabbing the squid boom. Grab me a hornet, Zach.
I'm not seeing how we're getting this squirt boom back here. Oscar needs his gear.
You don't think there's more faster in the bucket, man?
There's no way to get the bucket back here. This Kubota broke down.
Oh, shit. All right.
What the hell happened to the skid steer?
There's nobody up there with Troy. Somebody's got to get with him.
I just made a small space there. You probably get that bucket truck through.
Right.
Oscar, you got your gear?
Oscar's coming back with his climbing gear.
Oscar.
Where's it going? Will you take these in before the spark moves?
There's a throw ball. I don't know what this is hooked to, but there's a throw ball in the string in the tree.
You think I can get this bucket back there? Yeah, come on, I made a pass for you. Come on. Come on, the grapple truck here. Yeah. You wanna get ready to rope?
What are you saying?
You wanna set the rope?
Yeah.
We need to get him down.
That's the end of it. The time.
I'm gonna grapple truck here. I just made a spot you can squeeze through. Right here.
Come on, Oscar.
Bring the bucket, Josh. I am Oscar. The paramedics is here. That's the only one standing there. You can't get that way. You gotta come around this side now. Oscar, here, get the bucket and go get him, man.
You got it.
All right, right there. Come on, straight through. Go ahead. Oscar, here, get in the bucket and get him, man. I'm allergic to hornets.
I think you already got your gear on, man. Go up. They'll take forever to set that bucket up, man.
I think the bucket is
You think it's
faster.
faster?
Yeah.
Right there. See how it's on? The bucket's on, but hey, he's still clipped in. All right, I'm gonna fill my bucket.
Oscar, he has two safeties on that. I can see you're going to need to unclear both of them to be able to pull this whole thing down.
Give me the other harness.
He's not responding. He hadn't been responding for a pretty good while. We were trying to hurry up and get to him.
One person grabbed med bag with AED. You on air?
We're coming, Troy.
Overhand, next to you.
Yeah. Because his chin is so. Be careful, Oscar.
Is he all right? Is there an ambulance coming?
They said it was.
You're doing a good job, Oscar. Bring him straight down, Oscar. I'm under you. I'll help you get him out of the bucket.
How are you going to get him out of that bucket? Is he all right, Oscar? Is he all right? Is he breathing? Is he okay?
Yeah, he's breathing. Bring him all down, buddy.
Watch that knuckle.
Come on, Oscar.
Come down as low as you can.
Oh, yeah, but you got to take the pins out of it. It's going to be easier just to carry him out. Let's get him out, guys.
Hold his neck. Make sure his neck's staying still.
Gotcha. Somebody hold his neck. I got up under his arm.
Hand flat on his back, on his forehead.
Come on. Come on. I got his leg. Come on. I got you.
Hey guys, if y'all can help us get his gear off of him. Backboard. Where we going?
Somebody get that rope. Get that rope. Get that rope. Get that rope.
Right there, right there, right there.
Set him down, get his gear off of him.
No, he said just put him down and get the gear off.
Come on, let's help me get his gear off of him, guys. Shit, it's so damn tight. Come on, man. I got his neck. Y'all get his gear. We're gonna have to slide his saddle off of him. They're not clipped.
I think that pulls off. It's all right. It's all right. Just lay him down.
Lay him down so we can get his gear off.
Hold on. We gotta take his helmet off of him.
All right.
Alright, that's enough gear to get him off. I'm gonna slide the backboard underneath him.
Hey, did anybody find his EpiPen? I never did find him.
He should have an EpiPen.
He said it's in his purse.
Slide.
What's that water bottle?
1, 2, 3.
Pull the gear off of him. You can get the whole thing off.
Watch the seat.
up, that's gonna be a problem. All right, Troy.
What are you gonna put him in? Is there an ambulance coming? We're just gonna...
Check for radial pulse. Got a pulse. Everybody locate that EpiPen?
Could not find the EpiPen.
Y'all have one?
We don't found an EpiPen. We don't let me get one. Check your airway. Check your airway. All right, no bugs. Y'all can come up here tight.
He keeps the EpiPen. It's one somewhere. Hey, Chris Johnson.
I think he needs some mouth to mouth.
Chase, you want to kiss him?
Yep. Give him some mouth to mouth. Yeah, hold on. Hold him down. Hold him down.
Hold on.
Hey, at least we made it.
You made it. You beat the ambulance.
Congratulations, gentlemen.
What in the world?
You saved him.
Good job.
You saved him.
I'm gonna get out of the motion.
I just ran
Called 911 and everything.
place. Man, my heart was racing. I was worried about it. Boy, don't do that to me.
Not pumped, but if we did an aerial rescue and we got the man out of the tree in record time. Son of a bitch. That's why y'all were working late.
Oh my God.
It wasn't because we...
Man, dude, I've had the squirt boom keys. I threw them back in the... I was like, it's got a damn chipper hooked up.
That's why all those obstacles were set up there, because we were trying to make it to where we had to do a...
really worked.
Yeah, we had trying to get him to where he could do a aerial rescue climbing.
Appreciate the acting job I did in there when I was like, what's going on? Man, I wasn't fixing to wait for Oscar to climb. I said, I'm bringing the bucket.
Thank you, Nick.
I tore that thing apart looking for your EpiPen, man.
We were worried about traffic, so we stayed down there on Milton Jones for a minute after the call came out. Like, we'll just wait a second. But whoever you had out at the front was waiting us in.
Oh, good. Good. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's freaking out.
That's awesome.
So y'all had like Hornets?
We tore your truck up.
Yeah. We're in our air. So our job after they say there's bugs is we put on air packs that we're usually tape up so nothing can get in.
Okay.
And we'd have different suits on. They're more like more of a plastic type suit for hazmat. It's basically to clear the horns.
I hope you
off
pick
so
all
we
that
can
up
get them
over
in
there.
the house. That way the ambulance doesn't have points in it.
I took your glove off and shoot the all.
So where's the EpiPen?
It was in his pocket.
It's actually in Chris Johnson's drawer right now. It was a contingency plan if I actually got stung while I was up there.
Then Grandma would be
My
pregnant.
grandma's pregnant.
Grandma's pregnant, we're in trouble.
So obviously there's a few of us that knew that this was going on. The green crew had no idea. How do you feel right now?
Feel like we can rescue somebody.
Absolutely.
That's how I feel right there.
Good, awesome.
Good answer.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best answer.
I figured the bucket was going to be the fastest way, man.
Just remember taking them out of that bucket to keep their neck stiff. That way you don't knock their neck around when you're pulling them out. And after that,
After Ron went to throw the logs out of the way, I
get their
said,
gear off. Get the gear off their shirt up in case there's a cardiac arrest, so we can tear their shirt open
Okay.
and then hook an AED to a Lucas device. The Lucas device, they never take it back. It actually does chest compressions, so they can have a steady heart rate while they're going to the hospital.
Well, they did it. All in all, it was a pretty fast rescue. We're proud of our guys for working well under pressure, especially with all the obstacles we put in front of them. We were really hoping to see a climbing rescue, but they thought the bucket would get there safer and faster. Oscar did put on his harness and clipped in. I don't think we were at risk of having a second victim, but putting the injured climber in the bucket creates some problems. One is that the bucket is only rated for one person. Another is that the climber wasn't secured to the bucket, which could end badly if he was ejected from it. And then once he got to the ground, it can be a struggle to get someone out of the bucket. Fortunately, there were several people on site that could assist with that. But it is unrealistic to think that one person is going to be able to lift someone out of a bucket, especially if they're dead weight. Just some things to think about. We have not practiced aerial lift rescues in a long time, so we weren't sure what would happen if a bucket truck was brought into the situation. We did one of these in the morning on the same day. You can find it listed as number 11, Red Crew Aerial Rescue. In that scenario, the crew opted to use a bucket truck as well. We asked them not to say anything to the other crews, so this would still be a surprise. We coordinated with the fire department and the 911 call center, so that was a real call placed to 911 during this exercise. I was a bit surprised by the operator telling our caller not to approach the victim and not to attempt to rescue him. Maybe she was concerned about the wasps, but I'm glad they didn't listen to her. The bigger problem is that once emergency services are on the scene, they really don't have a way to get the climber out of the tree. So if he is up there long enough waiting on them to figure it out, it won't be a rescue. It would be a body recovery. So we're on our own. We have to be able to rescue ourselves. You're on your own. You have to be able to rescue your team members. Even if they were able to get a ladder truck to the tree, it would be an hour or more by the time they could get him down. We can make it happen within minutes. And those could be critical minutes with an injury or allergic reaction. But realistically, if we have a climber in a tree, it is probably in a location where a bucket truck can't access, like a backyard with no good way to get a bucket back there. So if we have a climber stuck in the tree, we need to be able to get another climber to him. Anything we can do to make the job of the rescue climber easier can save a lot of time. But realistically, it will be a rare occurrence when someone actually needs to be rescued. Maybe it's too much to set a secondary access line, and we won't always know what system someone else will be using. So if you tie in a situation where they can only go up double rope and they're only single rope, or vice versa, or maybe you've got it set up in a situation or a different line that doesn't really fit their climbing gear. So maybe it would help just to have a throw line in the tree so a rescuer could pull up his own climbing line and set up his own system. Maybe it would help to have a rescue kit nearby so that they don't have to go looking for all the gear. Just some things to think about. I would imagine that for most crews, there's only one climber. If that's the case, who is going to perform the rescue? This can be a very dangerous situation. There really needs to be a secondary climber on site, even if the skill level isn't matched, but at least someone that can get in the tree, and preferably someone that has already been trained in aerial rescue. So hopefully you got something out of that. We have had many discussions about what went right and what went wrong. We use these as learning moments. Next one we do, we'll probably set it up in a difficult access and force a climbing rescue. Will the crew be suspicious that it's a drill? Probably so. But maybe they will find that middle ground where they're still motivated to get our injured climber out of the tree quickly, but they'll be thinking about the lessons learned and slow down just enough to make sure everything goes right. So I'm sure you have some comments on this, and you have some thoughts. Just leave those in the comment section. This is we're trying to figure these things out as we go, but we know that we're going to be a whole lot better off practicing and then talking about it and then having our guys fall back on their training versus just having to figure it out on the fly. So is it perfect right now? No. Will it be perfect then? Probably not. Will it be better? We really hope so. We really hope that they'll be able to use their training and fall back on that training versus trying to reinvent the wheel, in the event that something happens. And then obviously, as most people would probably think is, hey, let's just be careful and not have to have an aerial rescue. And certainly there's a lot of truth to that. I don't think that we can say that's the case for 100% of the time, but certainly, if we're doing things right and we're inspecting the tree, we're inspecting our gear, we don't have a tree that's above the climber's skill level, then we shouldn't be getting into a situation where somebody has to be rescued. But what we're training for is the situation that just in case something happens, we want to be able to get that person out of the tree. And so we're not just waiting on emergency services to, pull our guy out of there an hour or two later. We're definitely expect that if we get a call, even from emergency services or another tree service, like we're going to be able to drop what we're doing and go respond to that. Not that we think, we're the world's saving grace or anything like that, but we want to be able to bring that, to somebody else's rescue if that's needed. And so, that could very well happen. The rescue might be within our own company. It might be somebody else. So we want to practice these and certainly get the feedback for that. So if you have some feedback, leave it in the comments. Let's talk about it. And hey, if we're doing this whole thing wrong, then let me know what we need to figure out. And we want to fix it. So hopefully somebody's got some ideas from this, and we can all work together and come up with better ways on how to do things. I would like to thank everyone that was involved in this project all the way through. It really went well, and I think that we learned a lot. The Bell Forest Fire Department, all those people there, volunteers, and really cool that they took part in what we were doing. Nick Bertinelli was the main guy over there, and big shout out to him. Troy was our victim in the tree, and for both rescues. And Cheyenne put the whole thing together, coordinated with 911, coordinated with fire department, coordinated with the ambulance. You just, took care of all the details and everything, and was really keeping a watchful eye over everything and trying to remain, kind of in the background as much as possible, but still wanted to make sure that things went safely and smoothly and that no one was injured. Thank you, Cheyenne, for putting that whole thing together. And, thank you to all of our rescuers and everybody involved. And, we couldn't have done it without you. Sorry that, we had to let on that it was real, but I think that was the only way to really make this thing play out and see, where our faults were and what we were doing right and what we were doing wrong. So anyway, thank you to everybody involved. I'm sure I'm going to miss naming quite a few people, but really do appreciate everybody being involved. So that's it. Be sure to keep checking out the videos. There's plenty to see. Check out the website, treebusiness.com. There's all kind of great stuff there, and we're just going to have more and more of this type of content just continuing to come out and improve the video quality. The audio is going to keep getting better. The video is going to keep getting better. Everything's going to keep getting better, and hopefully you're going to get something out of this. So if that's the case, then stick around, and if not, then hey, let us know how we can improve. See you on the next one.